You know that feeling, right? Your doctor hands you a prescription, you look down at it, and it's like you've just been given an ancient scroll. Well, you're not alone. In this explainer, we are going to pull back the curtain on that doctor's note and turn what looks like a secret language into something you can actually read.
I mean, we've all been there, squinting at that little piece of paper, trying to figure out if that's a U or a 0, or what on earth QID means. It feels like a secret code, for a reason, because, in a way, it is. And today, we're gonna crack it wide open. Yeah, those weird abbreviations and symbols aren't just random scribbles. Believe it or not, they're relics from a time when Latin was the universal language of medicine. What you're seeing is basically a form of medical shorthand that's been passed down for centuries. So, while it looks like chaos, there's actually a system to it. Okay, so to decode this thing, we first have to understand how it's built. Think of every prescription like it has an anatomy. 5 key parts that, when you put them all together, tell the whole story.
So let's get down to brass tacks. What is a prescription, really? Well, at its core, it's a legal order. It's a direct instruction from a doctor to a pharmacist, laying out exactly what medicine, at what dose, is for one specific person, you. It's the critical link between getting a diagnosis and actually starting your treatment.
And here's that anatomy laid out. First up, you've got the superscription. That's the classic RX symbol you see everywhere. It actually comes from the Latin word for recipe and means take thou. Next is the inscription. This is the main event, the name of the drug and how strong it is. Then there's the subscription, which is a little note for the pharmacist. But the most important part for you is the signa, or sig. Those are your instructions, how and when to take the medicine. And finally, the doctor's signature makes the whole thing legit.
All right, but this is where the story takes a really serious turn. Because while this coded language can be efficient, it can also be incredibly dangerous. A simple slip of the pen, a little misinterpretation. That's not just a typo. It can have absolutely life or death consequences.
The whole problem boils down to one word: ambiguity. When you're in a busy clinic or hospital, shorthand saves time. But what happens when that shorthand can be read in more than one way? Well, that's when you open the door to some really serious medication errors. And as you're about to see, some of the most common shortcuts are the easiest to mess up.
Just look at these examples from the Institute for Safe Medication Practices official Do Not Use list. A sloppily written U for units can easily be mistaken for a 0. The Latin QD for every day looks almost identical to QID, which means 4 times a day. And OD for right eye? A pharmacist in a hurry might easily see that as QD for every day. You can see how quickly this gets incredibly risky.
Now, this is the official definition of a medication error. And I want you to focus on one word here: preventable. That's the key. These aren't just random, unavoidable accidents. They are often breakdowns in a communication system that was just asking for trouble to begin with. Let's just go back to that U being misread as a 0 for a second. Imagine a prescription for 10 units of insulin. If the pharmacist reads that as 100, that's a 10-fold overdose, a catastrophic, potentially fatal mistake, all because of one badly written letter. This isn't theoretical. It's a well-known and terrifyingly common error.
And hey, it's not just the abbreviations. The drug names themselves can be a total minefield. You've got hydroxyzine, which is an antihistamine, and hydralazine, a blood pressure medication. To try and stop mix-ups, you'll sometimes see this tall man lettering, which makes the different parts of the names stand out. It's another small battle in the big war against medication errors.
So, if the system itself is full of these potential traps, who's got our back? Who's protecting us? Well, that brings us to the hero of our story, the pharmacist. They are so much more than just the person who counts pills. They are your final, expert line of defense.
This, right here, is their fundamental duty. Before a single pill goes into that bottle, a pharmacist is legally and ethically bound to stop, think, and evaluate every single thing about that prescription. They are trained to be detectives, to spot the exact kind of ambiguities and errors we've been talking about.
And trust me, they're running through an incredibly thorough mental checklist every time. Is this the right drug? The right dose? For this specific person? Are the directions crystal clear? Does this new medicine clash with anything else they're taking? Any allergies I should know about? They are connecting all the dots to make sure what you're getting is not just correct, but safe. And here's the golden rule, the absolute bottom line. A pharmacist never, ever guesses.
If anything, and I mean anything, looks off, from messy handwriting to a dose that seems a little too high, they don't just cross their fingers. They are required to pick up the phone and call the doctor directly. That one simple act prevents countless disasters every single day.
Now, as amazing and vital as our pharmacists are, the system itself is finally getting a massive upgrade. Technology is stepping in to wipe out a lot of these risks at the source. We're moving toward a future where clarity isn't the exception, it's the default.
And that future is called e-prescribing. It's pretty simple, really. Instead of a piece of paper, your doctor sends the prescription directly from their computer to the pharmacy's computer. It's a secure, digital handshake that's designed to take human error right out of the equation.
I mean, just look at the difference when you put them side by side. It is night and day. Where the old way had bad handwriting, the new way has perfect clarity. Where there was a huge risk of misinterpretation, now we have software that can flag potential errors. Plus, it's way harder to forge an e-prescription. And, this is huge, the system can automatically check for things like drug allergies and interactions.
So, what does this all add up to? Well, it's a total game changer. The biggest problems, like terrible handwriting, are just gone. But it goes deeper. The system itself becomes a safety net, screening for danger before a human even lays eyes on the order. The result is a process that's not just safer, it's faster and way more convenient for everybody.
So, we've come full circle, haven't we? From a secret code written in Latin, just full of opportunities for human error, to a clear, digital conversation about your health. By understanding this whole process, by knowing what to look for and who your guardians are, you're no longer just a passive patient. You become an active, empowered partner in your own health.
So, I'll leave you with this to think about. The next time your doctor sends a prescription to the pharmacy for you, what are you going to ask? What will you look for on that label? Knowing what you know now, how can you be part of making sure you stay safe?